Welcome to Real Rutherford. Real people, real talk, real estate. Live from Rutherford County, Tennessee.
Hey y'all, welcome to the very first episode of Real Rutherford. Real people, real talk, real estate. I'm John Turner.
And I'm Tracy Turner. We're a husband and wife real estate team and proud leaders of the Turner Victory team at Onward Real Estate.
Each week, we're going to break down what's really happening in the Rutherford County housing market. There'll be no fluff, no gimmicks. Just want to give an honest insight of what's going on and maybe a few laughs along the way.
So, whether you're thinking about buying, selling, or if you just like staying informed about your neighborhood, and really who doesn't, you're in the right place. So, let's start with the numbers for the week ending today, Sunday, July 27th, 2025.
Let's get to it.
All right. 121 homes went under contract. That's up from 112 the week prior, and it's even higher than the 115 from the same week last year. So, what does this tell you? That buyers are still active and they're making offers.
Well, exactly. We're not really seeing a flood of offers like we did a couple of years ago. But Tracy, we are seeing solid, qualified buyers making moves, especially under the $500,000 price range here in Rutherford County.
Absolutely. And we've got 116 new listings that came on the market this week, which is almost identical to the last few weeks and nearly level with the same period in 2024. So while we're not seeing a surge in inventory, we are maintaining a steady supply.
Yeah, absolutely. Our inventory levels right now as a whole, they're at 1,576 active homes. That's actually a 28% increase from this time last year.
Wow.
Yeah. So if you're a buyer, though, that's really good news because it means you have more choices, you have less pressure, and there's a higher chance of you finding that right fit.
Awesome. And we're also watching the month supply. So that went up to 3.26 this week, which is getting closer to a balanced market. And just for reference, a 4 to 6 month supply is what we consider a neutral or balanced market. So sellers still have the edge, but it's not what it was 2 years ago.
Interesting. So, let's switch over a little bit to pricing. The median home that closed this week in Rutherford County was $465,450. The average home that sold, it actually closed for 98.89% of the list price.
That's awesome.
Yeah, one thing that's not really included in there, built into that price, is that a lot of sellers now are offering some closing costs or rate buy downs for the buyer. But the closed price itself is 98.89% of the asking price.
That's great. And homes that closed averaged 24 days on the market. But that's just the time it sat on the MLS. The total journey from listing to closing is actually about 86 days on average. So that's nearly 3 months from start to finish.
Okay. Well, I guess the real lesson here is that buyers are taking their time. Deals just aren't happening overnight, but whenever a home is well priced and it's well presented, it's still selling fast and it's selling at close to full price.
Great. But on the flip side, we're seeing expired and canceled listings too, especially those priced over $600,000. Those homes either came in too high, missed the market window, or just didn't show well.
Yeah, exactly.
So let's zoom out a little bit and talk about rates and some regional trends. Mortgage rates this week averaged 6.74%, and that's for a 30-year fixed rate, which is down slightly from last week.
Something else interesting about the regional area is Redfin came out with a report this week that said 5.2% of the homes in the Nashville area are at risk of selling below their last sales price.
Wow.
Which may sound a little high, but compared to some major metros like Phoenix or Austin, some of those are over 15%. So really that 5.2% makes up, just really people have bought in the past couple of years because we have really seen a leveling of pricing. But to put that in perspective, if you go back to 2012, that number was over 60% of all active listings were at risk of selling below what they they bought the house for. So market's still real healthy right now.
Great. Okay. So if you're waiting for prices to fall in Rutherford County, we just aren't seeing that right now. However, we are seeing a leveling of home prices. Our market remains one of the most stable and desirable in the Southeast.
You know, buyers, if you're looking to buy a house, don't let the mortgage rate scare you off. I know that, it's higher than what it was in the past. Traditionally, they're still good, solid rates. But we do understand, it comes down to affordability. And you do have to be able to afford that. But one thing that really helps out with affordability is that, there are some refinance options, but a lot of times the sellers and are given concessions with closing costs or buy downs.
Right, especially on homes that have been sitting for a few weeks or more. But you've got to ask for it, and that's where a good agent matters.
That's right. Now, sellers, you've got competition now. Homes that are priced $10,000 to $15,000 too high, they're just sitting there. One sitting there, the one next door might be getting tons of showings because it may be priced correctly. And this is where the 3 Ps come in. We talk about it all the time. Pricing matters, presentation matters, and promotion matters.
Exactly. And as always, strategy beats timing. So let's work together and make the market work for you. All right, so let's talk about some local events in Rutherford County this week. Here's what's going on. And, we love our local community, and we want y'all to know what's worth checking out. So we've got Friday Night Live on Friday, August 8th, which is going to be next Friday, featuring the always popular Rubik's Groove.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody loves them. It starts at 6:30 p.m. on the square in Murfreesboro. You can bring your lawn chair, enjoy the music, and let the kids run around. And my favorite part, food trucks.
There you go.
All
Food
right.
trucks will be there. Speaking of food, let's keep in mind that the Murfreesboro and Smyrna farmers markets, they both take place on Saturday from 8 till noon. You'll find fresh fruit, veggies, baked goods, handmade crafts. It's a great way not only to support locals, it's a great time of getting outside and seeing your friends.
And it's not supposed to be quite as hot.
Yes, absolutely. So the one in Murfreesboro, of course, takes place on the square. If you're going to the one in Smyrna, it's at the train depot there close to the roundabout.
All right. And then we also have a car and bike cruise-in on Friday, August 1st.
That's right up your alley.
Absolutely. And that's going to be from 6 to 8 p.m. at the Fountains in Murfreesboro. So go check it out.
Yeah. Well, that about wraps up episode 1 of Real Rutherford. We appreciate y'all tuning in. If you found it helpful, please do us a favor. Please subscribe, leave us a review, share it with a friend. We'd love to grow this podcast.
Yeah, or 2 friends.
Yeah, 2 friends. Yeah. Hopefully, at some point, have some local guests and highlight some, local companies and things of that nature.
Absolutely. And if y'all want the visuals behind all of this information, graphs, charts, more detailed analysis, we have all of that, and you can check it out on our weekly YouTube video, and you'll find that at turnervictory.com, or just search for Turner Victory Team on YouTube. So,
thanks for listening to Real Rutherford, and we'll catch you next week. Real Rutherford is a production of the Turner Victory Team at Onward Real Estate. We can be reached at 615-234-5020 or at turnervictory.com. Thank you for listening in.